Our journey begins between the Celeb Sea, the island of Sulawesi, and the Makassar Strait, a wonderful triangle of biodiversity where the last nomads of the sea, the Bajau Laut, still live to the rhythm of the ocean. If their future is linked to the ocean, their past was shaped by the climate. According to legend, a flood submerged their homeland and forced them to take refuge on their boats. They drifted for 7 days and nights until they reached this paradise-like corner of the world. Since then, they live in harmony on the horizon, paying close attention to the slightest variations in the skies. As they do each day, the leader of the Baisaran clan and his son, Kolnirdati, prepare to scour the ocean for their daily fish, as they've always done since time immemorial, at the mercy of the lapping water, the beginnings of the world.
For us, humanity was created by the spirits of our ancestors. They created 4 populations with distinct characteristics.
These populations were placed onto the 4 corners of the earth and formed 4 nations. 4. The spirits asked each people to make a choice. The Bajaus were asked to choose between knowing to ride or mastering the ocean. Our ancestors chose the ocean. They didn't want to learn to write. That's why, since time began, generations of Bajaus continued to live off the sea. Our concern is fishing, fishing with nets or lines. It's our destiny.
We're used to this life. Our universe is here. If we are on land for too long, our bodies start to burn.
The Bajaus are intimately linked to the climate and the movements of the sky. They know the cooling and regulating benefits of the ocean, but their legacy has its codes and apprehensions.
If we provoke the sea when the spirits have told us that's not good, we act badly, and things immediately happen to us. We get hurt or fall ill. We're not rich any more than we're poor, but we have to get our sustenance, and that comes through respect. That's the way it is.
The Bajaus respect the sea in order for it to feed them. They only take what they need to survive. They depend on its grace and the whims of the skies as well. The rain starts to fall. The wind picks up. Kolnirdati gives the order to anchor the boats to the reef and to be patient.
You risk your life when the sky lashes out. If the storm passes, that's great. But the worst is when you're caught up in it. If the boat takes in water, for example, there are those who know how to swim and get out and those who die. There's a lot of stories of boats sinking. Many have lost their lives like that, believe me. They get caught unaware in strong winds and that's it. Nowadays, the risk is even higher. The south wind is much stronger. And if the winds are a little stronger than today, we can't control anything. There's nothing we can do apart from wait and sit it out. Our ancestors could chase the rain away just by blowing on the clouds. But we don't know how to do that. They had magic spells. If we knew them, we'd already have used them. But we've forgotten them.
All civilizations have a history that is punctuated with floods, rains or storms. The history of man has been linked to the climate since the dawn of time. The wind has eased and Baisaran and Kolnirdati decide to raise the anchor and go in search of fish where the weather is milder. In the celeb sea, Baisaran and Kolnedati are a good example. They've been looking for a lagoon to fish in for several days. They move to the rhythm of the plankton. Trying to avoid the caprices of the skies, their makeshift boat, their only shelter.
We're nomads. We live to the ocean's rhythm. Our next destination depends on the fish who depend on the current. If the current goes that way, we'll follow it. And if it's raining when we get there, well, it's raining. We don't have a choice. That's the way it is. It's better if it's not raining, of course.
On arrival, the sun is shining. And to be sure that the currents are leading Baisaran and his crew to a school of fish, Siblin throws himself into the water, one of the best hunter-divers in the region. He breathes in one last time before this breathtaking adventure. Siblin seems to be one of the last people to remember that the ocean allows us to breathe. He can stay underwater for several minutes looking for fish and 15 meters deep, defying the limits of the human body. His body is so dense that he can stay in an upright position as if he was hunting on land. His heart rate drops to 30 beats a minute. His survival instinct tells him when it's time to come up.
When people on land see me, they ask, "Do you use weights to go down to the bottom?" I tell them I don't. "But then how is it possible?" they ask. "How can you walk underwater?" In fact, it's a special gift. A shaman told me so, and now I can stay for several minutes underwater. Underwater hunting is made for me. I feel good when I'm underwater, and the reason I feel so good is that once I've dived and I'm at the bottom, I don't think about anything. It clears my head.
The sea is made up of water. Water which for all land animals is something unbreathable and that asphyxiates. Except for Siblin, who has almost become half fish, in symbiosis with the water. In reality, he's right. The sea is the link between the surface and the depths. Notably, thanks to the currents, it absorbs carbon dioxide to release oxygen. It's the sea on the surface that gives us oxygen to breathe, as well as fish to eat. The Bajaus can eat now, one hand on their food but one eye on the sea, another on the sky, because it's the season of spring tides and Baisaran is wary.
We don't know if the tide is good or bad. We don't know much about it. What we do know is that if we let ourselves drift, it can take us with it. The tide is the sea breathing. It comes, it goes. Nowadays, the currents and the winds are stronger and stronger, and we don't know why. It's complicated for us.
The Bajaus are like the watchmen of the climate. If the winds and the currents are stronger, this is a sign of climate change, because the ocean and the climate are inseparable. Because the skies and the sea have been linked since the dawn of time. The Bajaus teach us to listen to and respect the elements. Fire, earth, wind and water give us heat, cold and humidity. The climate's components are inseparable and in harmony when they're in equilibrium. As soon as the sky and the tides let them, Koronadati and his brothers equip themselves with a mask and a bucket. They search the depths for shellfish and giant clams. The lives of the Bajaus depend entirely on these coral reefs that they know like the back of their hands. They know that the corals are alive. The coral is really just a spongy mass from the jellyfish family. It's plankton, a plankton that doesn't drift with the currents but which is fixed to the ground. With their roots and branches, these coral form real tropical underwater forests, and like forests, they shelter life and pump carbon from the air. They play a vital role in regulating the climate. Yet these corals, which are so important for the climate, are disappearing. Most of the fishing in the region is done with cyanide and dynamite.
Some of the fishermen come from here, others from further away. The resources are running out, and we're not allowed to fish on the reef over there, or that one, as they're protected marine zones. Soon we won't even be able to come here. We're also chased by pirates from the Philippines. Men have gone mad. What will we become? So we've come to take refuge here.
But this morning they go ashore to collect wood and repair the roof of the boat. A paradise-like island which has well-kept secrets. For Baisaran, stepping foot on land means taking a risk for his whole family and putting them in danger. So his only desire is to get the stop-off over with and get back out to the skies and the sea.
Take that over there. Go back and rest.
Now?
Yes, gather up these bits of wood and take the pile back to the boat. Put them down, have a nap. I'll be right there. We never sleep on the ground. Everything on the ground bites us and itches, especially when the night falls. We're very scared of the forest. There are things there that can strangle you. If we're not back on the boat, we're not at ease. The forest demon can come out at any moment and suffocate us if we stay there. The sea spirits are good. They warn us of any danger. They look like lizards. They swim up to us, directly to the boats to warn us, "You're not allowed here. It's better over there." And if we treat each other badly, there's a risk that the sea spirits will abandon us. To keep our relationship good, we have to make offerings to the ocean. And if we behave well, nothing can happen to us.
Luckily for the Bajau Laut, by letting the watchful lizard steer them, they're being guided by the sea and with it the currents, the sun and the plankton that are the origins of life.